Now this could be the end of that useless daughter-in-law. I came home early and heard my mother-in-law's strangely happy voice. Soon after, I heard my husband's disgusted laughter. I creep quietly into the kitchen where they are. In the dark hallway, I watched the two of them with bated breath.
Well, tonight's the night, Mom.
Tomorrow is the big day for her. I wonder how miserable she's going to feel after this. Oh, I can't wait. My mother-in-law grinds up whatever she has on hand and puts it in the pot. Then she smirked and had a nasty smile on her face. I gulped. What? Isn't that? I can't believe she just did that. I was shocked. But at the same time, I was determined. If that's what you're going to do, I dare you to take the bait. Dangerous? You see? They're forgetting the most important thing. That's what I do for a living. Why don't I do what I do the best? I'm looking forward to it. My name is Pamela. I've been married for 3 years now, and I'm a housewife. Our story is a little unique. It all started when my husband, Luke, fell in love with me on stage. I was a stage actress before we got married. I was quite successful, if I do say so myself. I was busy, but I loved acting. Above all, I loved the exhilaration of being on stage. Every day was fun and rewarding, and I knew it was my calling. I even had some fans. One of those fans was Luke. At the time, he came to see the play every day with great enthusiasm. Since Luke happened to be a friend of another theater company member, we went out to dinner together and started seeing each other, which led to a relationship and marriage. Luke was just so kind. He was happy just to be in the same space with me, probably because he had always been a fan. Luke took the initiative to do everything for me. His love was so excessive that sometimes I was a little taken aback.
I did it because I love you. I care for you, Pam. Please understand.
When he cried like that, I would forgive him. I guess that's the weakness of love. Our relationship was going well, and I thought that with him, my marriage would work out. But married life was a little different from what I expected. What bothered me was my mother-in-law. She didn't like the fact that I was going on stage. If you're going to be a wife, you've got to give up the flirtatious job and concentrate on the housework. Above all, the most important job of a wife is to have children. She forced me to quit the theater company. Even Luke, the nicest guy, seemed to put his mother before me when she is involved. He would hide the scripts from me so that I couldn't go to work. Moreover, he wouldn't let me in the house when I was late for practice, and he interfered my work. I tried many times to talk to Luke and plead with him to let me keep working, but he wouldn't listen to me. I was frustrating, but if I continued, it would cause trouble for the troupe members. In the end, I decided to become a housewife. First, you have to have children. To shut up my mother-in-law, who was always saying to me, first of all, you have to have a child. Until we have a child, I'll concentrate on housework. I can resume work when the child is grown up to some extent. In fact, I, too, wanted to have a child with Luke. But when I became a housewife, my mother-in-law's sarcasm got worse and worse. Our apartment was only a 20-minute drive from my parents-in-law's house. My mother-in-law, who had lost her husband a few years ago, came to our house every day in her spare time. Every time she comes, she eats leftovers without permission, complaining that the food was over-seasoned. Or she would open our closet without permission. And if it wasn't in order, she would rummage through it as she pleased and complain about it. When I was a stage actress, going to work was my pleasure. Now that I'm a housewife, I can't even have a peace of mind. My mother-in-law interferes with my life from morning till night and complains about everything I do. Stress was building up. On top of that, even Luke, who used to be so kind to me, became cold toward me.
You are a useless wife. All you can do is stay inside the house and be quiet. Don't talk back to me. Do the housework properly.
Just like his mother, he taunted me by telling me things like that. Furthermore, when my mother-in-law found out that I was making a good amount of money before we were married, she began to regularly ask me for money.
You have money, but you don't have time to spend it, right? Money is only worth something when you spend it.
My mother-in-law would say such crazy things to me. When I refused to give the money, she started yelling at me, and things got out of hand. I had no choice but to give her money from my savings. Of course, I was angry at my mother-in-law for playing around so extravagantly with my money. After a year of marriage, the money I gave to my mother-in-law had become quite a large sum. Around the same time, I found messages on Luke's phone where he was having an affair with his coworker. In one of the messages, they said,
Pamela is dumb, so there's no way she would notice our relationship.
Luke sent that kind of messages to his lover. He makes fun of me. I began to seriously consider divorce. Fortunately, Luke and I had no children. If we are going to get divorced, now would be the time. But I was a little lost, because I was supposed to play a supporting role at the former theater company. I didn't tell Luke and my mother-in-law about it. Even after I got married, I continued to see the members of the troupe and my stage friends. I had to do so to keep my spirits up. One of the company members, who was worried about me while listening to my daily complaints, asked me if I wanted to appear in the show for a little while without telling anyone. I wanted to be on the stage so badly. I couldn't resist. I didn't care if it was a minor role. I just wanted to be on stage again. I immediately agreed. So if I got divorced now, I'd have to deal with that, and it might interfere with my rehearsals. It's my first time on stage in a long time, and I want to do whatever it takes to make it a success. I decided that now was not the time, so I decided to wait until after the show to get divorced. The show is just a few days away. One day, when I thought everything was going well, I was cooking dinner as usual, when my mother-in-law came up to me with her eyes raised.
Hey, Pamela,
what's this? Where did you get this?
It's from your bag.
These are flyers and scripts for a play, aren't they? What my mother-in-law had in her hand was a flyer for a volunteer performance and a script for a play. What? You can't just go through someone's belongings without permission.
Shut up. It doesn't matter now.
You said you quit your job, didn't you?
Then, explain this to me.
Yes, I lied about being a part-timer and went to practice. Maybe I shouldn't have tried to go on stage behind her back. But that doesn't mean it's okay to go through other people's belongings. My mother-in-law was ranting as usual, and I was so frustrated that I yelled out loud. So what? What's wrong with acting? Yes, I went to stage practice in secret. I lied about the part-time job.
What? You admit it? You lying bitch. You're just an amateur stage actor. You're so miserable clinging to the stage like that. My mother-in-law's words made me furious. I was dizzy with anger. I felt as if my vision was turned red. I feel bad that I lied to you. But what's wrong with doing what I love to do? My mother-in-law was surprised that I had spoken back so strongly. I continued my work regardless of my mother-in-law's flinch. I've been performing on stage all my life. Thanks to this job, I even met your son. And yet, you unreasonably deprived me of my work. On top of that, you bully me day in and day out. I can't take it anymore. Why can't I at least take a break and do what I love to do? I've been practicing for a month for the play, but I've always done all the chores properly. Neither you nor Luke noticed until now. Then what's wrong with that? Besides, the show is the day after tomorrow. No matter what you say now, I'm going on stage, I said in a single breath, and my mother-in-law didn't say anything, but her mouth was agape. For me, the stage was my reason for living and a stress reliever. Do you know the stress is bad for your health? Maybe the reason I can't have children is because of the stress of being with you every day. My mother-in-law's face contoured in frustration, but she left the house without saying anything. I told her everything that I had been building up in my mind. I came to the next day feeling very refreshed. I went to practice as usual. I was in better shape than usual, probably because I had given it all up yesterday. I went home early because it was the day before the show. Then, I found Luke and my mother-in-law talking about something in the kitchen. They seemed to be so absorbed in their conversation that they didn't notice me home. This would definitely be the end of Pamela's career as an actor. I stopped moving when I heard my mother-in-law's words. Finished as an actor? What the hell does that mean? I listened to their conversation under my breath. I could see that they were working on something. I quietly looked at their hands from a position out of sight of them. I gulped. My mother-in-law was holding nuts. She was grinding them in a blender and mixing them into the soup. I am allergic to nuts. Eating even a small amount of nuts can cause itching in the mouth and throat, making it difficult to speak. And I would get urticaria, and it wouldn't go out for a while. I made sure Luke understood it when we were dating. Could it be that they put the nuts so that I wouldn't be able to go on stage tomorrow? I came to my senses, took out the voice recorder I'd been carrying for practice, and started recording. It's finally going to happen tonight. This should give her a lesson. She got so cocky to talk back to me like that. Yeah. If she would just shut up and listen to you, Mom, then none of this would have happened. Oh, well, she's a hopeless wife. She doesn't learn until we teach her well, you know? You're right. I left home in shock at Luke's words. I knew my mother-in-law hated me with all her heart, but I couldn't believe that even Luke felt that way about me. I had believed him no matter what he said, somewhere in the back of my mind. With nowhere to go, I had unconsciously came to the rehearsal hall. Inside, several members of the troupe were practicing on their own. Hey, Pamela, what are you doing here? I thought you were going home early today. Oh, yeah, it's just, Is something wrong? Are you okay? You can tell me. I found myself telling the troupe members everything I had just seen. They were surprised, but listened quietly to the end. I see. This is terrible. Hey, Pam, what do you think about doing it back? What? Now I quietly listened to the troupe members. After listening to their plan, I looked at them. My feelings were determined. I decided to do what they suggested. I will show Luke and my mother-in-law how serious I am. I came home a little later. I said I'm home more exaggeratedly than usual. Immediately after that, my mother-in-law came over and spoke to me in a petting voice. "Pamela, you home? I'm sorry about yesterday. I didn't realize that I had pushed you too hard. I'm very sorry about that. Can you forgive me? Well, I thought you were tired from practice. That's why I made you a meal today. Here, look. You need to eat well and prepare for tomorrow, right? Come on, Pamela. Eat up. Eat up." There is the soup I saw earlier on the dining room table. I'm sure there are a lot of mashed nuts in it. I take my seat without saying a word. "Thank you for your thoughtfulness. They look delicious." "Yeah, right? Mom put her heart and soul into it." Luke and my mother-in-law, sitting in front of me, were looking at me with smiles I'd never seen before. To be honest, they looked disgusting. I pretended to eat the soup so that they wouldn't notice. I pretended to swallow. Then I stopped moving. I dropped the spoon, held my hands to my throat, and rolled out of the chair. I breathed hard and acting like I was thrashing around on the floor in agony. I never thought my acting skills would come in handy in a situation like this. Luke rushed over to me with a glass of water, panicking at the sight of my unimaginable agony. "Why? Pamela? Are you okay? Take some water. Can you drink it?" I heard Luke's crying voice in my ear. My mother-in-law is hovering around me in a panic. "Oh my God. I didn't mean for this to happen. I just wanted you to suffer a little. I just wanted you to miss the show tomorrow. All I did was put a little nuts in the soup. Just a little." "Mom, not now. Call an ambulance." No. No ambulance. Think about what the neighbors would say if we got in trouble with the police. It was supposed to be a prank. What should we do?" "I see. I understand very well." Hearing my mother-in-law's words, I stopped suffering and slowly stood up. As I was fixing my messy hair, a panicked-looking Luke came up to me. "Pamela? Are you alright?" "Yes, I am. It was just an act, you know?" "What? What are you surprised about? I'm an actress." "Acting? Well, then you're not..." My mother-in-law's face is getting red. "Pamela, how dare you? Do you think you can go in making fun of people like this?" "It's you and your son who are making fun of me. You put nuts in my food, right? So I wouldn't be on stage tomorrow. That's... Don't try to play dumb with me. I have proof." I pulled out a voice recorder from my bag. It's got a screen that shows it's recording. And I have witnesses. Shadows of people creep out from behind the door. They're the members of the theater troupe. They had followed me home, as they thought I would need witnesses as well. Luke and my mother-in-law looked at the troupe members in daze, frozen in place. Oh, Pamela, don't get so serious. This is just for fun, you know? We are family. So, forgive us, okay?" My mother-in-law laughs at me with a weird smile on her face. "Family? Don't make me laugh. I've studied all kinds of acting as a job. And you think you can get through to me with such bad acting? I know so well that you don't like me. Do you expect me to forgive you now? Quit dreaming." When I said that, I showed them the divorce papers. No way! My mother-in-law and husband both started to panic, as if they didn't think I was thinking of divorce. As I played the data I had recorded earlier, I said, "Would you rather go to the police or get a divorce?" After that, Luke and I divorced without a fight. Since there was also the matter of the affair, I demanded alimony. Since my ex-husband started struggling to pay for the alimony, his lover ran away from him. On top of that, it seems that the way Luke treated me also became quite a rumor in the company. As a result, he had no choice but to voluntarily resign from the company. Yet, my ex-mother-in-law resented me and tried to get in my way to return to the stage as an actress. However, a member of the troupe found her waiting for me at the back entrance and reported her to the police. No matter how many times I warned her, she kept trying to ambush me and mess up the stage. I finally asked the police to issue a restraining order against her. My ex-husband still hasn't found a new job, and his mother has become the talk of the neighborhood because of the arrest. The two of them have been living a hard life together, trying to hide from the neighborhood. I am happy to be back on stage, which I love, and I'm enjoying every day. I guess this stage is where I can breathe the most easily. I'm not saying I'll never get married again, but for the time being, I'm happy with my job as my lover. Thank you for watching to the end. Please subscribe to our channel if you like. See you in the next video.